You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and in this episode I am joined by...
Michael Booth Ninja Powers.
And we got listener interaction.
Whoa!
Yay!
Whoa, oh, okay. Last minute.
Yes, last minute, so that either way it still counts.
Right, it counts, but literally last minute.
Because otherwise we were going to go with our other choices, which can be saved. So,
right.
Nintendo Labo and peripherals is basically our topic for this episode.
Which I want to give a shout out since they took the time to suggest something. This came to us from a friend of the show, Art Danner.
Yep. Who gave us a couple of different suggestions prior to that.
I think he was being a troublemaker.
He was being a troll, but it still works.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The topics he wanted us to talk about were geeky enough to talk about, but we admit we don't know enough to talk about what he wanted us to talk about.
Nope.
So, luckily, he threw out the whole Nintendo Labo debut, which I don't know. Okay, so so all I've seen is the 3-minute YouTube video that Nintendo put out.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming is all that you have seen as well.
Yep. I'd seen beforehand. I'd seen some pictures that people had done with them, but I hadn't seen. I didn't really understand what it was I was looking at.
Okay.
Until I watched that video, and then now I understand it. It's basically a 3D printed, cardboard adapter that you add on to the device.
Right. So, okay. Little bit of a primer here. I have a Switch. You do not.
No.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Switch, mostly because I can't think of anything to play on it. Basically, I take it out of the dock. I let the battery slowly die due to standby time. And then I put it back in the dock and I let it charge back to full. That has been the extent of my interaction with the Switch since Black Friday. So I don't know, okay, so let's remove the fact that you don't have one from the equation and the fact that I can't find something to play on it. What do you think? I see this. I don't have kids. I don't plan on having kids anytime soon. But I see this and I think this is really cool.
I see this as almost like a pre-robotics class.
Yeah, because some of the stuff seems pretty intricate, like the backpack with the pulleys,
or the fishing pole that's extendable, or the camera, or the even the digital piano. Yeah,
I mean it all seems really neat, and the kits themselves. It's like I don't know what the individual kits are. It looks like you get the whole kit and caboodle for about $70.
Yep. It says, and what it is it'll be sold in 2 kits coming out April 20th of this year.
There's the variety kit,
the variety and robot
kit.
Yep.
So the whole kit and caboodle is $150
roughly. Yep.
Right around there, and you're right. It's like you basically get we've seen these before on a smaller scale, right? It's like it's a cardboard sheet that has dotted or perforated edges that tell you where to fold and bend.
Yep.
And you create different things out of it. And as you stated in this, you can make a telescoping fishing pole.
Yep. The variety pack allows you to do the RC car, brush bots, a house, a motorbike, a fishing rod, and a 11-key piano, whereas the robot lets you build the robot suit, which includes the headset, backpack, straps, and the tension cords to assemble it. And then they both come with software for the Switch.
So what do you...
I don't know.
I find this interesting and I don't even have a kid. Like if I had a kid, I would have pre-ordered this by now. Where do you come down? Like,
well,
just
for the sheer concept of it, I think it's really interesting. I think that it's like your own homemade robotics class, and it kind of teaches them the building ability of actually basically. I mean, you're building a machine, and you're just inputting the OS with the the software that's going to run it, and the technical pieces into it, which are the controllers and the screen, and you've got yourself basically a digital interface for whatever it is. It kind of reminds me of those old Lego Mindstorm.
I think this is a little more. I think this is a little less than Lego Mindstorm.
Yeah, it's a little less, but because I tried the Mindstorm thing, that was insane to even try and program or do anything with. I think that this will be super simple, just because it's Nintendo and it's kind of like a game, but it's at the same time its own kind of a intricate kind of circuit playground.
Well, what the I think you're looking at it like, I think you're making it more complex than it actually is. From what I've been able to see on my Twitter feed, like for example, you can make a cricket, okay, and you slot the Joy-Cons into it, and through the haptic feedback, or what do they call? I forget what they call their haptic feedback engine, but like you can make it hop, okay. But there's nothing more than you folding a piece of cardboard into something that looks like a bug and sliding the controller in there, and it makes it hop. Like the piano, it's not like you're wiring things up to anything. It's you're putting things in a position where certain buttons can make the motion controls do things, like the fishing pole, for example. Yeah, it telescopes and it's got the hand crank, but what you end up doing is you slot that Joy-Con into the fishing pole, and you just crank it, and that makes the Joy-Con spin, obviously, and through motion control, that tells the thing that you are reeling in a fish. Like, you're not so much as connecting wires to things as you are applying more realistic motion to what you are doing. Like they're asking you to build your own accessories.
It's basically taking the concept of the Nintendo Wii, but actually putting something to it.
Well, okay, yeah. Remember the Wii had all of those extensions for the Wiimote, like the tennis racket. I believe they had a fishing pole. I think they had a light gun.
They had tennis racket. They had
steering wheel.
Yeah, steering wheel, a baseball bat.
Yeah, so it's that stuff, but they're asking you to create that out of a sheet of cardboard, obviously, that they've stenciled out for you, which brings me to one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about it, which was I was a big fan of Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole plastic instrument peripheral craze that popped up around that, right? And now, I mean, I still have my Rock Band stuff, but it's just kind of languishing somewhere in my basement. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably sent that stuff out to either Goodwill or a garage sale.
Yeah, I haven't even played Guitar Hero in years. I mean, it's been a long time.
But see, that was a whole lot of plastic, right? Whereas this is all like recyclable. Like it's you don't have to think about what you're going to do with it when you're done with it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, when you're done with it, you can just kind of throw it in the recycle bin and be done.
Yeah. And I mean that's on the downside of this product, right? But I mean, the other cool thing is the ability to like personalize everything. Obviously, because it's cardboard, you can draw on it to your heart's content.
Well, and the other thing too is I remember when I was going to get rid of my Guitar Hero stuff, that they weren't worth anything anyway in the store. They wouldn't even take the peripherals for the games. Like, they would take the software, they just wouldn't take the device itself.
Yep.
And so, like, in this essence, they're kind of curbing that whole need to try and off that too. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win, because when you decide you're done with it and don't want it anymore, it's not really that big of a headache to throw out.
Right.
Not saying that, like, I mean, that's the other downside too, is like you could ruin it really easily and have to buy another one.
It looks like, though, you get multiple attempts to make something. Or unless I'm looking... Nope, never mind.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a one-shot and you're...
Yeah, it is. I was looking at what's included in the variety kit, and I thought there were a number of A steps, but then I realized it was A, B, C, D, E, F, until the contraption you were trying to make was built. I think that this is... Like I said, I think this is pretty cool, and I don't even have kids. Like, is this something that you would do with your kids?
This is something that I would consider actually getting it for, because my thing is I don't want my kids sitting still not doing anything.
Right.
Because like that's the reason why I won't let him sit and watch TV or play a tablet, is because he just sits and veges out. Like, there's no physical movement. He'll stare into oblivion for hours if you let him. And so with this, it would kind of give him that that accomplishment, that sense of accomplishment of having done something and having built something, like he does with Legos. Mm-hmm. And yet he would still get to play that digital game, but it wouldn't be something that's necessarily going to be impairing or bad for him. It would just be something that he could have fun and kind of learn with. Right.
Kind of like, bowling on Wii Sports, but you don't let anyone sit down.
Yeah, basically.
So...
But no, I mean, I think that the whole concept, like, I kind of noticed this the other day, and it didn't really click with me what I was looking at. And then, upon watching the video, I was kind of like, oh, it makes so much more sense now. What's going on with that? And I don't know, it's kind of inventive. That's the one thing that I can give Nintendo, is they may not always have the greatest game library, but they always have the most innovative, thought-provoking products.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on both accounts. They don't seem afraid to try something new, for better or worse. But I will say, and this didn't really come from me, but this came from seeing it on Twitter. Like, they're in a better spot right now than they've been in. It was like they spent the last year going after quote unquote hardcore gamers.
Well, I think it also helped that they distanced themselves from the Wii U.
Well, absolutely. But the way that they did that is they've finally, at the end of the day, in my opinion, the Switch is a Kindle Fire with a controller added onto it. But they found a way to make a home console portable, which is cool to a lot of people. I don't play mine that way. I can't stand to play it that way. When I do play it, but they also brought the games that everyone wants to play. Like, they've got Doom and Wolfenstein, and they brought Mario and Zelda in the first year of release. So it'll be a while before we see another set of core games in those series. And they're continuing down that path. They just released Skyrim as well. They're going to release Dark Souls this year. But because they've done that and they've grown their install base and everything seems to be healthy for the system, now they can kind of lean the other way and go after the casual people that like the motion controls, that like that this is for. They like the peripherals, they like being able to do stuff. The question is, how cool are these games, and will other games be made that use this stuff?
Well, for instance, I think that you could end up seeing something in the vein of, like, with the camera peripheral. I could see them using that in like another one of those kind of like Pokemon Snap type scenarios, or like a Mario thing, or like the piano thing. I could see them doing like kind of a fun, maybe like a piano playing music thing. Like not necessarily, it wouldn't be like Rock Band or Guitar Hero kind of cool, but it would be interesting in this, in the least. But
Or if somebody made a fishing game, can they use the Labo fishing rod? Or can you use the? It looks like one of the things that you can create here is the handles for a bike, right? Like,
which would be cool.
Can you use that in like Mario Kart? Like
that would be awesome.
Like that's what I'm wondering. Like, are these like single use one off things like Wii Sports was, or are these pieces that you're building could a developer potentially use them, in their game? Like on the back of the box, instead of just seeing like Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, will you see like works with Labo bike peripheral thing if you still have it?
Yeah, I would be interested to see how that all plays out as they progress through this, because that will determine whether people will want to fork over the $150 worth of cardboard to do this.
I don't think that's really up for. I think this will do well.
I think it'll do well, but I think it'll do great if it does have a lot of that.
If they can do more with it,
if they can do just more than just what comes with it. Like if it's a glorified Wii Sports in essence with these cardboard peripherals, I don't see it sticking around very long. But if they manage to incorporate it into other games or mini games, like another Mario Party, and you're having to use these different, you don't have to, but you could use these gear.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I see it going over really well, or in, like, if they were to do like a full blown, because Pokemon's kind of getting big again, with a movie coming out next year or this year or something, and then, they could have the fishing rod, they could have the, camera. I mean, some of this stuff could be reused for that as well. I see a lot of application in other products.
Right. It's all there. It's just, will they do it?
Yeah.
So. This just makes me go, there's 3 games that I'm looking forward to, or there's 2 games on the Switch that I'm looking forward to this year. One of them's not even this year. So there's Bayonetta, the Bayonetta collection, which is Bayonetta 1 and 2, and then there's Bayonetta 3, which is coming sometime within the next year or so. And then there's Metroid Prime 4, which is also coming sometime within the next year or so. Like, those 3 games are like what I'm looking for, like what I have to look forward to, like what I know is coming. Seeing this just makes me want like a Switch Sports, like remake Wii Sports for the Switch,
but make it look cooler.
I don't even need it to look
bit
cooler. It was so. Like,
it was fun though.
Just the bowling, or put just the bowling.
I loved the bowling with the bowling pins. That was like by far the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, just put bowling on the eShop. That's all you have to do. Like just charge like $10-15 for just bowling.
Could you imagine like a bowling ball almost shaped piece of Labo cardboard
that you actually would throw? No,
you wouldn't throw, but that you could you'd have the little. I think I don't think
holes.
The finger holes, so you could pretend. And although I see somebody still launching that at their TV with the remote inside, but
did you ever throw a Wiimote?
No, I never needed the hand strap, but I had them.
I did it once and only once at my parents' house. I didn't hit the TV. My parents used to have a clock on top of the TV, one of those like. It's not like a grandfather clock, but it's got the pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have one of those on top of their TV, and I don't remember what we were. I think it might have been baseball, or it may have been bowling. I'm not quite entirely sure, but that thing just went right out of my hands like a dart, right to the clock. It knocked it completely off. I mean, it didn't break the clock or anything.
But it was like a missile.
Sturdy. Yeah, but it was a really sturdy clock, and of course the TV wasn't damaged in any way. And the controller was fine too. So, but yeah, I guess obviously there's a lot of memes going around the internet about this stuff. I mean, I've seen a lot of funny ones.
I haven't seen any of the memes actually, which is surprising.
I've seen some that there's one where someone took a piece of cardboard and wrote Mother 3 on it. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, isn't that the
it's the sequel to Earthbound.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So they wrote Mother 3 on the box, and then they stuck a Joy-Con inside of it, and then they put the caption under it says it's not working, which I thought was really funny. There's the M16 that I sent you, that picture. And then there was one that made me cry, which was it was tweeted out by the fake Peter Molyneux account.
Okay.
He said it basically was like Metroid Prime 4, and it said directed by Peter Molyneux, and it had the kid wearing the robot kit, like playing Metroid Prime. Like I saw that, and that made me cry. I was like, some of the stuff is funny, and some of the stuff just makes me really, really cry. So yeah, let us know what you guys think about the Labo stuff. Is it cool? I mean, if you had kids, would this be something you'd want them to do? If you don't have kids, is this still cool to you? Like, it's cool to me, but I just don't see myself doing this stuff. But definitely, if I had kids, I would totally do it, because I feel like when you have kids, like, it gives you a reason to do the more insane things that you might want to do, like the more childish things that you might want to do.
You mean like go back and sit for hours playing with random Legos that aren't even a kit that you bought specifically for a model?
Possibly, yeah, something like that, and of course something like this too, right? Like, I can't justify putting together a bunch of cardboard things and leaving them laying around my house, but if I had kids, I could totally justify that, So yeah, let us know what you think about the Labo thing. Let us know what your whole opinion is on the whole peripheral craze from like 10 years ago, and the Toys to Life stuff. We didn't really hit on the Toys to Life stuff, but like that's the Skylanders and the Lego stuff, which has now been
Infinity and
Disney Infinity, which has been discontinued. The only one that's still out there and kicking, as far as I know, is Skylanders, and it's not even that as big as it was. Like, I got into Skylanders. I still have all my figurines because they were really cool. But let us know what you think about that using the hashtag Altered Labo.
Yep, sounds good.
Sure. Altered Labo. You can send your feedback or share your feedback on the Facebook page or on the Geekcast Radio website.
Yep.
Or with Steve and I online on Twitter. You can hit me up at BoothNinja81. And you, Steve?
At SCP21.
So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.